Namaskar. Myself, Dr. Anita Malviya, Assistant Professor, Commerce, Government College, Pithampur, affiliated to DAVV, Indore. First, I would like to thank my father, Shri K.S. Malviji, for giving me this opportunity. I congratulate all organizers for conducting wonderful and valuable seminar and heartily thanks to all organization of this international seminar on social work day. They give me this opportunity as a speaker. Today I want to discuss the role of NGOs in women empowerment through self-help group. NGO, non-government organization. Non-government organization NGO played a vital role in rural reconstruction, agriculture development, and rural development even during pre-independent era in our country. In the post-independent period, the NGOs become a supplementary agency for the developmental activities of the government, and in some cases they become alternative to the government. After the introduction of microfinance through self-help groups, they printed into each and every corner in India. And actually, the NGOs are responsible for converting the pilot project of microfinance into a major programs, and the NGOs are responsible for making the microfinance through self-help group as the largest program in the world. NGOs are playing vital role in the formation of self-help groups and motivating women to join the groups and linking the groups with the banks for microfinance. They also help to create awareness among the rural poor. They gave wide publicity to rural banking and its linkage programs at local levels and had enabled the rural Indians to participate in the decision making process at the bottom level. These measures can significantly make the self-help groups effective and efficient in order to boost the rural economy of India. Role of NGOs, perhaps the most effective types of organization in the effort to foster entrepreneurship in India in general and among women especially has been the NGO. A number of NGOs have entitled programs related to entrepreneurship, including microcredit or microfinance programs for small scale entrepreneurs, training and technology transfer projects, and director assistance with some small business startups. With the respect to women, NGOs sometimes offer programs targeted especially at women, since women may have limited or no access to more generalized development programs. NGOs operating in developing countries such as India, whether based in India or abroad, often focus on small entrepreneurs and are the special development needs of women by providing training, workshop, technical assistance, job opportunities, and help with startup of small businesses. Often, NGOs receiving funding or other assistance from government, charitable, or corporate organization. NGOs are expected to support the self-help group in the following areas. to motivate the rural people to organize themselves and to form into self-help groups at village level, and to educate, train the group members in managing the group activities like maintenance of books of accounts, conducting meetings, management of funds, etc. To inculcate, promote thrift and saving habits among the group members, and to help in institutional building along with the development of individuals, to help the self-help group in identifying raw material and local resources, and to make available credit facilities, and to act as a link between the rural poor and the bank, to educate and train the program members to utilize credit properly and to improve their economic condition, to help the group members in exploring market for their product, to work at facilitator in the meeting of the self-help group, and the last, to act as a friend, philosopher, and guide to the self-help group. Women empowerment means the process of women empowerment is dynamic. It is not static over the life course, but may vary over time, subject to accumulations of experience, resources, and achievements, as well as of time varying characteristics like age, marital status, and duration. Empowerment is also relative and contextual. People are empowered, are depowered, relating other people are to themselves at a previous time. The term empowerment may indicate a redistribution of power to the less powered group. From the definition of women's empowerment as defined in the literature, we may visualize an empowerment woman. An empowerment woman is confident in her ability. She is capable of leading her life independently. She is socially as well as economically independent. She is opinioned, enlightened, and she has freedom from all sort of dominations. And finally, she is someone who is capable of standing for her own rights. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stay young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Despite the wide variation in the conceptualizations of women's empowerment, a definition can be proposed. Women's empowerment is a self-acquired process to achieve women's choice in all aspects of life, including decision about their health and bodies, their education, employment, and political representation. This process should be acquired at all levels: individual, household, community, country, and global. Furthermore, women's empowerment contextually it should be inspired closely with the social economy context at in period of the time defining women's empowerment. United Nations Population Information Network has defined women's empowerment based on five components, which are as follows: women's sense of self-worth, their right to have access to opportunity and resources, their right to have the power to control their own lives both within and outside the home, their right to have and to determine choices, their ability to influence the direction of social changes to create a better social and economic order nationally and internationally. Women's empowerment compromises women's education and knowledge to enhance her understanding about her surrounding, her ability to control her life, freedom from domination by not depending on anyone else's income, her ability to participate in decision making process, her capability to make independent decisions, and finally her independence in terms of mobility. For this purpose of self-help group mode was introduced as a core strategy for the empowerment of women in the Government of India's ninth five-year plan 1997 to 2002 and is one of the largest and faster growing microfinance program in the developing world. Empire evidence from earlier research substance that the economic and social impact of microfinance empowers women. Self-help groups. Self-help group movement in India has been working in the right direction in empowering women and eradicating poverty in the rural and urban areas. However, women are still not empowered as per the expectations. Empowerment is an active, multidimensional process to enable women to realize their identity and power in all spheres of life. Empowerment provides a greater access to knowledge and resources, more autonomy in decision making, greater ability to plan lives, more control over the circumstances which influences lives, and freedom for customs, beliefs and practices. Empowerment demands a drastic and basic change in the system of marriage and family, husband and wife relationship, and attitude towards socialization and remarriage. Empowerment is a process that gives a person freedom in decision making. Self-help group is a homogeneous group formed by 10 to 20 members of poor household having similar objectives, aims and aspirations. The self-help groups are formed under the principle of self-help group to promote individuals through collective actions in areas of augmenting income, gaining eraser access to credit and other resources, and increasing their bargaining power. The self-help group may be formed either by male member or by female member or both. The self-help group is a voluntary association of the poor who come together to improve their socio-economic condition. Training is an essential component for producing an able corps of entrepreneurs who not only survive but they thrive and contribute to the local and ultimately the global economy. Promoting entrepreneurship for women will require an even greater reversal of traditional attitude than the mere creation of jobs for women would. Realizing the need for training, the government has introduced several programs. Critical evaluation of the exciting governmental and non-governmental effect indicate that training and technical assistance offered are not graded to suit the individual needs. They are only capsules in puts focusing on the vested interested of individual trainers and consider the training as an in itself. After centuries of chronicle rule, we started to think about ourselves as a nation. We had made up our mind that India needs the goodness of both capitalism and socialism. Hence, we adopted a middle path called mixed economy. It was a partnership of private and government entrepreneurs. Government concentrated on basic infrastructure, was justice and other were left to the private sector. The father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, said that India lives in village. The self-help groups links with the poor through self-help group promoting institutional, which primarily includes NGO, but also bank and government officials. Typical programs features of a small loan size, regular meeting, frequently repayment installment, and saving supplemented by training from self-help group. These may include primarily health care, basic literacy, family planning, marketing, and occupational skills. It is, however, important to note that empowerment is multi-locational, location excites in multi-domain and it's multi-dimensional. Thus, women control over a single dimension. For instance, economic decision making does not necessarily imply the ability to make reproductive or non-financial domestic decisions. This is why alternative development initiatives such as politic courts, awareness generations, and property rights, and so on, as essential for empowering women. It is also critical to note that due to the culture and social construction imposed on women in developing countries, women automatically are personal accumulation of resources may not necessarily result in empowering women on their own. Self-help groups have been instituted as a way to increase effectiveness of women-owned business. They are thought to increase mutual trust, a spirit of thrift, group convenience, among other attributes. Self-help groups have historically found to increase socio-economic status in rural India, found economic ties among members. The structure of the group network and women's participation in group meetings contributed to collective action in promoting social capital and normative influences. Self-help groups were found to be especially important in developing communication skill for poor women in India. Improving communication skill was related to better access to bank success, become successful micro entrepreneurs and self-reliant successful women in all aspects. Conclusions. The core self-help group philosophy is an in women empowerment through increasing employability, self-sufficiency, and in cultivating a habit of saving among the rural women. Empowerment is empowerment is a microcredit will in reality involve a significant change in attitude, change in work practices, and challenging vested interest. For women's empowerment to be addressed, women need to be enabled to define their priority and demand their right. Microfinance can be effective strategic infrastructure instrument for poverty elevation only if it is used for income generating micro entrepreneurs price development. Self-help groups as per the research is successful in rural areas, especially among women. This program have uplifted the rural women economically and socially in the society. Women are an integral part of the economic development of the country. Therefore, the government should give equal importance to the women contributors and their well-being in the society. Thus, self-help group become a powerful tool in bringing women together in the remote rural area and thus help to emancipate the one who suffers in silence forward toward collective community programs development on a sustainable basis. So empowerment of women involve many things, economic opportunities, social equality, and personal rights. Women are deprived of these human rights often as a matter of tradition. In rural areas, women are generally not prescribed to have any meaningful income, generation capacity, and hence they are relegated mainly to household duties and cheap labor without the power to work and earn a good income. Their voices are silent. Thanks.